But moving on to the final team, another team that has a guy that you are super high on, your boy Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. The Zach Wilson era has officially begun. The notable losses: Sam Darnold. Obviously, they got rid of him. He got traded to the Panthers to make room for Zach Wilson. Running back Frank Gore. Is he still playing or is he retired?
I'm not sure if he's retired. He hasn't signed with the team yet. I think he's still technically a free agent. So
Yeah, I mean the guy he just keeps on chugging, so maybe he'll come back. Notably, Brashad Perryman, one of their better receivers last year. Obviously, not an amazing receiver, but one of the better guys that they had. And then cornerback Brian Poole. But sort of like the rest of this division, they had a lot of additions. First off, safety Lamarcus Joyner. They added edge rusher Carl Lawson, who then got hurt, so they then traded for edge rusher Shaq Lawson. They added defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, linebacker Jared
who,
Davis,
by the
tackle
way, I
Morgan.
think is also, if I heard, was also hurt for the year. So that one's kind of
Jared
wasted.
Davis,
Yeah.
that's tough. Two of their signings are
Yeah.
out for the year. Uh, then they added wide receiver Corey Davis, who solid signing after he finally had the best year of his career last year after being a top 10 draft pick. Never really lived up to it until finally a solid year last year. Should be their top wide receiver, at least going into the season. Wide receiver Keelan Cole, another solid signing. Oh, my
Oh,
camera just cut out.
oh, you good?
I don't know why it's cutting out. Added running back Tevin Coleman, another solid signing, a depth option. Didn't really have an amazing run game last year. And then the draft where they really struck gold. Another team who, man, they just killed it in the draft. One of the best drafts, in my opinion, in the whole league. Started off with quarterback Zach Wilson. The guy has made some amazing throws this
Headband gang.
preseason.
Headbutt
Yeah.
gang.
Your guy, and I'm sure you're gonna have a lot to say about him. But so far in the preseason, although he hasn't had the Mac Jones sort of playing time, he's had his moments where you see the arm talent on display. Then they added guard slash tackle Elijah Vera Tucker. That was a big move because obviously their offensive line isn't amazing, but they do have the sort of youth movement over the last few years, adding first round picks onto that offensive line. And so they add him there, and that should provide some stability for Zach Wilson. One of my favorite draft picks in the entire draft, wide receiver Elijah Moore. I've heard nothing but good things about him in preseason training camp so far. It just sounds like he's really popping. He did get hurt, and I think he missed the last preseason game. But don't sleep on him. I would not be surprised if at the end of this year he is the most productive Jets wide receiver. And then also added running back Michael Carter, guy that we were both pretty high on, had him in the top five for our running backs in the draft. And I haven't heard the best things so far in
Yeah.
preseason, but
He's had a
overall,
rough start.
yeah, but overall, I mean, I think he's right now third on their depth chart behind Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman. Um, I have him in fantasy, so I'm pretty invested in how he's going to do. But I think everyone sort of expected this, that they would start off with sort of a committee look and give him chances to try and assert himself. He hasn't really done that in the preseason so far, so maybe we'll see because they'll give him absolutely opportunities. So we'll see if he can do so moving forward. For me, I mean, with the other three teams in this division, I think they're going to finish last. But sort of like I talked about with, I think the Jaguars, it's a building year, right? There's not really expectations for what the Jets can do this year. And I think that's good for them because when you have a lot of rookies coming in, a lot of young guys in the offensive line, a rookie quarterback, rookie running back, rookie receiver, just a new head coach, a lot of fresh faces. I think it's good when you can come in, not really have expectations, but I really liked what they did in the offseason. I really like the foundation they are building. I'm blanking on the left tackle that they selected last
Kai
year.
Becton.
Mekhi Becton. Having him and Elijah Vera Tucker along that offensive line, I think those two guys could be monsters moving forward for a long time. And so I really like the building blocks they have on offense. Zach Wilson, those two on the offensive line, Elijah Moore. Don't forget about Denzel Mims, second round pick last year. I haven't heard, unfortunately, amazing things about him out of camp, but at the same time, it's a crowded wide receiver room that the Jets have because they're just trying to figure out what the talent that they do have. And so I think he'll get his opportunities in the regular season, and we'll see what he can make out of them. And then obviously, like we talked about, running back Michael Carter. So I like the youth that they've brought in, and I think that like I said with the Jags, it's the way that you start a rebuild. You get a lot of really high upside guys, and you just see what you can do with them because you don't have expectations to really win. And so, yeah, I like what they did. I also really like the hiring of Robert Saleh. I think that he can have a solid defense over there because they still do have Quentin Williams. They added Sheldon Rankins, so they have solid defensive line. Um, it sucks that Carl Lawson, their big free agency addition, he got hurt. But overall, I think they have some solid pieces on the Jets defense. And then their offensive coordinator, he came over from the Niners with Robert Saleh. He's Matt LaFleur's brother, right?
Yeah, Mike LaFleur. So
Mike
gonna be
LaFleur.
running the same
So
system.
yeah, so I mean, same sort of Shanahan type system that they're going to be running over there, and so should be really friendly to Zach Wilson and the offense they have on that side of the ball. So don't sleep on the Jets. I mean, like I said, I think they're going to be last in this division, but I think they had a really good rebuilding type offseason. What about you?
So yeah, I like what the Jets did on paper. Obviously, it's just unfortunate that injuries are kind of creeping in for them. Because I think Mekhi Becton's also dealing with an injury already in camp,
Yep.
so they're already getting the injury bug. And I'm surprised Tevin Coleman survived because he's had a lot of injuries. No offense to him, but regardless, like you said, no one's really expecting a lot from the Jets this year. But it is the city of New York, and I think we were seeing in baseball, and we've seen before that the city turns pretty quickly. So if you're to Jet fans, just hang in there this year. This is going to be a rough year. Like I said, you already lost one of your big signings. Like John mentioned, Carl Lawson and Jared Davis. I think they're your two huge signings on defense. So it's going to be a rough year, but hopefully, I do think regardless, I think Zach Wilson will be good. He's looked good in preseason. Like you mentioned, I like the moves. Even if Makai's not 100% or, Becton has to sit out a while. Morgan Moses, solid right tackle for the Washington football team for a couple of years. I'm not sure if he can play left tackle, but still, he's solid. Elijah Vera Tucker can play tackle. That's why I put that. He did play left tackle at USC a bit in his senior year. Better at guard. But, once again, if Makai's out, but if Makai's not even out, then even better, he plays guard. So they have talent, like John mentioned, and they're definitely supporting Zach Wilson better than the regime that had Sam Darnold did. And granted, too, it helps that I think we can all agree. I think Zach Wilson's a better prospect coming out than
I would agree.
Sam Darnold. Definitely. I mean, he's already.
I was not high on Sam Darnold coming
I
out,
wasn't high on Sam Darnold.
I'm a little
either,
biased.
but I'm just saying, people thought he was the next great thing.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I think Zach Wilson's for real. He can make all the throws, and it's not going to be immediate. But I wouldn't be surprised if this team does somehow pull like a Chargers season where it's going to be like 6-11. But in reality, I think it's going to, because of all the injuries they have, I think it's going to be like a 3-14 type season, just because it's. I mean, right off the gate, I pulled out the schedule. Week 1 Panthers, and that's Matt Rule and that team, and they're going to be really want to start off on a high note at Carolina too, and Sam Darnold revenge game. Week 2 Patriots, fun. Then the Broncos at Mile High, so that'll be a first for Zach Wilson.
Always tough.
And then the Titans, and then you finally get a break with the Falcons, but then you get the Patriots again, and then Bengals,
and even the Falcons. I mean, Matt Ryan, veteran quarterback.
Yeah, and then you get the Bengals, and then you get the Colts. This is a rough one. Colts, Bills, Dolphins, 3 straight weeks. Oof. And then to end the season 2, they had the Bucks and Bills, and also play the Saints somewhere between there. So, yeah, it's gonna be a rough year for the Jets, and hopefully, but I think regardless, I think it'll be an encouraging year. And I'm not sure what they are looking cap wise, but maybe they can take a few more swings next season, off season, get a few more guys, and if they can keep hitting the draft picks like they did this year, then they can really be a force next year. But this will be one wild division regardless. But
I think for the Jets too, it's got to be nice that I think in a normal year there'd be like way more expectations on them, but because of Trevor Lawrence and who he is, the Jaguars have way more expectations than the Jets do. And then you'd think, okay, well, maybe the national media doesn't have big expectations, but the New York one. But then on the other side, they got the Giants, who Daniel Jones, make or break year, The NFC East is wide open. They could win it. And just all the things that are happening on the Giants side of the ball. So even in the New York media, like they don't even have that big of expectations. And so I think it's got to be good for that young team, new head coach, new staff, all that stuff to just come in and I mean, obviously they want to win and they want to do really well, but not have the pressure to perform like right away in what should be a building year, like you said. But overall, that's going to be it from us. That is the AFC East recap and our quarterback rankings. Next week, we are finishing off our division offseason reviews with.
It'll be Friday.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, this Friday, but I think the videos will be coming out next week. The NFC East, Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Washington football team, Philadelphia Eagles, my team, my division. And we'll have potentially
Mitchell Matthew on who's already popped in our chat, said hi. I think he popped back out afterwards, but he'll be on there Friday. We were supposed to do an episode with him last year, and then he took a nap and never woke up.
Never showed up. But hopefully he shows up this
year. This is the season to show up and talk about the team.
They won the division last year. They're not going to do it again. We'll get into that next week, though. Anyway, that's going to be it from us. Hope you enjoy. Make sure to like the video if you do enjoy the content and click the subscribe button on YouTube. I don't know which side of the overlay it's on, but check out our Instagram. We've been posting daily content over there at Shut Up and Ball Pod for I don't know how many months we've been posting daily. Right now we're dropping a lot of fantasy content if you are interested in that kind of stuff. Above me, we got TikTok. Not as active over there, but trying to be a little more active and grow our fan base there. Also have a Twitter, Shut Up and Ball, and then a Facebook at Shut Up and Ball Pod as well. So follow us on social media and hope you have a good one.